Whose project is it? The designers or the contractors?
Contractor's project.
Ooh.
Who's more likely to be able to do it? The designer or the contractor?
So I once
From
reposted
start to finish.
something on How to Hardscape, and a a few designers commented, "Hey, that's this person's design. You should give them a shout out too." Even though like it was like a contractor's built thing, and the designer was never tagged anywhere, so I didn't think to tag them or anything. But a bunch of designers commented on saying this. You should give the designer credit. This is this person's design. But you would
Um,
disagree with that, Chad?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to piss off all the designers now. Just, I mean, there's some value in designing stuff. Absolutely, right?
I
Like, no building gets designed without a lot of work, right? It's just, I see the value in the hard work, like the actual physical hands-on hard work.
so when I was younger, I would have agreed with you. But now, to be fair, I think I push all the jobs into being the designer's responsibility. I'm just there to do the work. If the design doesn't work, you go deal with the client. If we need an extra step, you go figure out how to get that extra. If we need this, I'm just saying as I've gotten older. When I was younger, like your age, I probably would have dealt with it the same way that you are now, where it's like my project and you designed it, you gave me the drawing, I priced it, now it's mine. I don't care about you. Like it's you're not my problem. I'm in charge of the project. I own the project. I deal with the client. But as I've gotten older and perhaps lazier, or I'm just looking for things that to be less confrontational. Uh, Now I would say that I'm we're just there to build it. Like we don't have any input on. I try to keep my input to as little as possible, and then that way, when things go sideways, I have as little responsibility in that as possible, and the most likely chance of getting paid to fix whatever the problem is. Because as soon as I put ownership on something, I think it minimizes my ability to get paid when things go wrong. Like if I'm the one who designed it, I'm the one that's carrying all the weight on it, and I need two extra steps because the heights are fucked up by a zip level, sorry, level zip or whatever the fuck that shit is. Fucking it's hard for me to go if I'm the one that owns the project and be like, yeah, I fucked up these two stairs. As a person, I know that I will
So,
default to just putting in the two stairs and eating the money because it was my mistake. But when the designer makes the fucking mistake, I don't need to feel bad.
so fine, but who does the client call whenever the design is impractical or the design or the job shits the bed 5 years later? They're not calling the designer. Well, the contractor should know not to do it like that, right? The contractor should know you can't have a first step that's 14 inches. So the designer missed it, but it's the contractor's fault.
I think that would depend on how you handle the relationship. Like if you're taking a design and never having the designer involved in the build, like how many times does the designers you do you work with ever worked with a designer?
Yeah, I worked with a couple, and they're
How many
fine, but I
but
I
how
am
many
massaging them constantly.
but how many times did they come by for site visits?
They seem to not have a lot of other stuff to do
So
in their sandals and
but that's for me, if the step is 14 inches, I would have the designer set up like I don't deal with the clients anymore directly, as little as physically possible. I don't even want to know their names. I don't care. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to know them. I have a lot of people that have already done work at their house I'm not friends with. So I want to maintain these people as being as far away from me as possible and as least likely to contact me about anything. So when we're doing residential, everything runs through the designer. So if there's a 14-inch step, I email and I say, hey, there's going to be a 14-inch step here. How do you want to aggressively deal with that? Designer emails me back. We're building a 14-inch step. Homeowner emails me 2 years later. I forward that and say, I can fix it, but someone's got to pay me.
yeah.
I mostly did it because what was happening with residential work is because of my personality, every single mistake I would just fix for free. Because I'd just be like, fuck it, I should have caught that. Fuck it, I should have caught that. Fuck it, that's my fault. If I don't, but now when there's all these mistakes, I don't need anything because I'm not the one that fucking made them. I don't even, I used to go to houses and do my own visual inspection before I did the bid. I don't anymore because I don't care. It says one step on the plan. I priced one step. If I need two, that's your fucking stupid level zip that fucked up. You fucking, now someone's going to pay me what that step's worth. And it has made us more profitable by making the designer the person that upfront deals with all that shit.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
I get it.
90% of the time, our clients that we work for residentially don't even have my contact information. They wouldn't even have a way to get a hold of me unless they went to our website and sent me a random email. Yeah, but you can create that for yourself. You just have to put your foot down and say, you fucked that up. It's your, like, you deal with them. Because what else, after you do the design, what else are you getting paid for? You're there to build a relationship. I don't mind paying a designer, but you better be earning your keep on that relationship.
They're just there to put their stamp on the job, saying, "But yes, I built this."
I bet that,
and you just put it on the paper.
I bet since we started Paver King, there's potentially 3 clients out of the however many we had that might contact me before they contacted the designer. I've deleted that part of my life. I hate it. I started doing that when I worked at Ridge Lake. I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want people calling me. I don't want them having my phone number. I don't want them knowing me. It got so obscured at Ridge Lake that people met me so few times that people thought the foreman Joe was me. And he would show up and they'd be like, "Hey, Mike, how's it going?" Because he had a chain and had a beard. And he would just go, "I'm good. How are you?" And then he'd just be Mike for the whole job. That happened like multiple times. Because I was like, I don't want any part of this. I'm so fucking sick of residential landscaping.
It's a dream to be able to pass things off to someone else. And I think instead of doing that, I've shifted towards commercial work instead of.
Yeah, another way to get.
Yeah, but I feel like as soon as something goes wrong on a residential job, it's the contractor's fault. It's my fault. So if it's going to be my fault when it's bad, then it's going to be my responsibility when it's good too. And I'm taking ownership of that fucking job. It's my job. It's not the designer's job. Right. That's how I see it. And maybe that's naive
but that's the relationship
or whatever. But
no, that's the relationship you set up. So if you're the one if you're the one that's dealing with the client and you're the one who's directly talking to them all the time, it's your job. And I did that until I just got so burned out of it. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I fucking hate these people calling me at 10 o'clock at night. And I hate these people debating with me. And I fucking hate this shit. So I can tell you, like at Ridge, like I literally, Nancy was like, I want to make more money off the jobs. I said, okay, this is what you're doing. You're collecting all the money. I'm never collecting money again from anybody. You're gonna handle all the meetings. Everything runs through you. I will pay you to do it. Because there's a cost to me doing it. Plus, I fucking hate it. And that's when that all started. And now I'm like down to like almost. I've done jobs where I never, like, we did jobs the last 3 years where I never even met the people.
That's great.
Nancy sent me a drawing. Yeah. Nancy sent me a drawing. I priced it. I managed the flow of the materials. Drake, Colin, whoever was on the residential crew, Ricky, they went and did the job. I never even fucking spoke to these. Nancy collected the money, or Kelly got it fucking, he transferred to us, and I never even met. If I walked by the homeowner on the street, I wouldn't even know. And
what are your thoughts on it, Mike?
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So would you say that fan did Nancy design that fan job, the Squadra fans?
Yes, she did.
So is that Nancy's project or yours?
Okay. So that client had a problem with their trees dying in the back that Nancy picked because there was a soaking wet spot that she knew, and she put things that wouldn't live there. I'm just joking. I don't know why they all died. That might be potentially why they died. And when that stuff all died, the homeowners on that job called her. They didn't call me. And then there was a design flaw because of some of the like there wasn't enough drainage and some of the gardens didn't flow and there was a design flaw. And
So you were building bathtubs.
no, it was a garden.
Kidding.
Well, yeah. So we built a drainage system where I can tell you right now, if it had been my job, I probably would have built that drainage system for free because I would have felt a responsibility to that because the drainage was partially to do with the way things got built, partially to do with the shitty job by the builder in the backyard. And so I would have definitely probably done that for free because I would have just been like, oh shit, like we should have recognized this. We should have done something about it. But on that one, when they said there was a drainage problem, I was like, yeah, that's $3,000. I didn't design this. I just built it. It's not my problem. If you want to debate why it cost $3,000, call the lady that designed it. And that's why I would say that Nancy owns that project, not me.
Does that create friction between you and Nancy, though?
Hasn't yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess because she's getting paid what she wants to do that job. If she was doing that job for not enough money, then I would say that it's not her. I guess that would be a problem, potentially full of friction. I think it's actually deleted friction from our lives.
Okay.
Because before I would have been like freaking out. I got to dig this fucking ditch because you fucking fucked that up. What the fuck? But now I'm like, oh, you screwed that up? Oh, whatever. It's $3,000. You go deal with that. Figure it out. Have a good time.
Great. So what I'm getting out of this whole thing is that I need to find a Nancy. If I'm willing to give up some of the responsibility or the ownership, I gotta find a Nancy.
But do you want the ownership?
Not necessarily. No. I want the money.
I think it's more so setting out expectations, anyways.
That sounds like so bland office language.
Is it?
Expand that. Yeah.
Well, you
Sounds
and
like
Nancy know each other.
We need to set out expectations. So yes.
Let's circle back to the expectations.
Let's circle back and we'll send 3 emails. And sorry, I'm just saying expand it. Like it just.
You guys don't have this in like your relationships, setting expectations. There's nothing that falls through the cracks that you can get mad at each other at. Like Nancy expects that you're going to charge her for that drainage work, no? And if she didn't, then she would get mad in that scenario.
She could, but it's her fault. She's just going to get mad at herself.
Okay.
Potentially anyone could get mad at anyone for anything. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, like do we have a laid out? I'm not the only person that does like this. Maybe I am. I don't know. I think other people do this way too with designers. It depends on what the designer wants to get paid. If the designer wants $1,000 to do a drawing and then fuck off and I never see them till the end, that's one thing. If a designer wants to get paid for their drawing by the client and then get 5% of the overall job or 2% or 3% or whatever agreement you have with your designer, some designers want 10%, 15%. They better get off their fucking ass and do some other shit or I ain't fucking paying them.
Yeah, I think you're blurring the line between designer and project manager.
Yes.
At that point, right? Like she's not just a designer on the job.
Yeah.
Because the designer hands you the paper, walks away. At the end of the job, she drives by 2 years later with her kid and said, "Oh, I built that." You know, to me, that's what it is to me, right? But a project manager is a different set of criteria, and I think Nancy's falling into that category.
Yes.
So
you set the expectation that she's also the project manager.
I think my expectation of a designer is higher than your guys.
Oh yeah.
To me, a project manager is managing the flow of materials on the job. The project manager is doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm doing all that
Well,
stuff.
she's a client relations manager then for the project.
But if you're
I'm
She's
short a
doing
step,
something.
then she'll handle the materials.
No,
Oh, I thought you said that.
no. I
Oh,
handle all the materials.
okay.
I handle all the labor. I handle all the flow of machines, pickup, drop off. Well, maybe Kelly handles a lot of that stuff too. Maybe I don't do much, but like Nancy, sole primary responsibility as the designer is dealing with the client and the design issues. I maybe that makes her a project. I'm not saying my definition of what a project manager and a designer are right. I'm just saying in my world, a project manager is also dealing with the supply yard, dealing with what machines are on site, dealing with the daily production rates of the guys. That's a project manager. Nancy's not doing any of that stuff.
So does Nancy have? Nancy obviously works with more than one contractor than just you, right?
I fucking hope so. 'Cause she didn't make it. She'd be like living below the poverty line. The
so,
fuck?
so do you think that she has the exact same relationship with every contractor that she has with
Uh,
you?
I don't. I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
I think that every contractor has to build their own relationship with their own
And
design.
set expectations.
And let's circle back. I feel like this conversation is almost like leveling up.
This is a lot more landscape than we're used to.
That's true.
A lot
Oh, geez.
more business than we're used to.
Maybe it's because like Nancy and I have been working together. I think we figured out like 15 years. And there's been all different variations of our relationship. We've done all different things.
Yeah.
So I maybe like I don't know if I was working with a designer who planned on doing a design and then taking zero responsibility after that until they can drive by with their kid and claim they built it. If I know that up front, I'll price that job appropriate to that. And then I probably just won't get it. Because my time dealing with any kind of home, like, well, that's not true this year. So I'm kind of lying about that. Like, I've been going back and forth with this guy, like on 17 emails on a job I wouldn't even have bid in 2008. I don't mean a job I wouldn't have bid last year. I mean 2008, not 18. 2008.
What's so bad about this job?
It's just bullshit. It's a bullshit job that no one's ever going to be satisfied. Like, these people hate their fucking neighbors. So they want to build a wall that's 3 feet high that's right on the property line. Because they wanted to put they wanted to put a fence there. But like a 3-foot wall sticking out of the ground is providing no privacy to your front. And this is in the front yard. It's one of the most bizarre landscape requests I've ever got. And I'm just looking at it going, and it's being built out of materials from 1975 because they're like, we really like this. I'm like, cool, awesome. It's a material that doesn't even have like a double-sided coping that works with it from the manufacturer. It's a single-sided coping. It is a double. There's no triple-sided corners. So on the inside, you're gonna see like it's all fucked up on the inside corner, which is something like it was like, I don't know. It's just not something I would usually look at and be like, I don't feel like we're a good match.
Yeah.
I said that to lunch. But this year I was like, man, I'm going to email this motherfucker 7 times. He's debating the face footage of the wall because I just did like a generalized take. Okay, the wall's 3 feet high.
Why isn't Nancy doing this?
Because she's not on this job because it was too fucking small and stupid. I couldn't bring myself to subject her to the pain. She's a better person than that. She doesn't deserve it. So I just said, I'm going to tackle it myself. There's no design work here. It's a
do you want to be able to say you built the job? Is that why?
This job, yeah, that's why. When I drive by, the owner of the house said, there's a space that he owns on the side of his house that's 10 inches or something before the property line. And he said, I want it. The other guy has patio stones there, but they hate each other so much. The patio stones stop right at the property line. And so there's this weird dirt area. And he's like, yeah, I just want to put some pavers in there. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. He's like, yeah, I just put them on the dirt. And I'm like, okay. Cool. I was like, I just don't care. Like, it's just, this is so fucked up that I said, cool, put him in the dirt. Like, whatever, man. Like, I can't price to dig that out properly because if I do, there's
on the
no
neighbors.
chance I'm getting the job. Oh, there's an easement we can work in. We're allowed to be in the easement. The neighbor won't mind if we're in the easement. I'm like, you see how fat I am, bro? Like, how big is the easement? 2 feet? What? I don't know. I need some, like, usually as soon as someone says they have problems with their neighbors, I leave.
Yeah.
No good can come from any quote where someone says I have problems with my neighbors. Because that means there's one of two things going on. Either the person you're talking to is the psycho and you don't want to be around them, or their next door neighbor is a psycho and you don't want to be around that either. Unless it's 2024. A guy texted me today and it's about some trucking stuff. And he's like, yeah, my phone is absolutely blowing up this year. 2024 is the best year ever. And I'm in Cabo partying. And I'm like, I don't know what life this guy's leading, but it's not the rest of us. Like, I don't know what he's doing that's different from me, but maybe I should take some fucking a hard look at what's going on.
Maybe he can get you on a coaching call.
Probably. Maybe I need a coach. Maybe that's my problem. I thought about doing an absolute complete buy-in to someone's system. Like just going, you know what, man? These people say they know how to grow my hardscaping business. They know how to sell my business for $30 million 10 years later. And just say, like, I'm gonna join this shit and I'm gonna go hardcore and I'm gonna do everything they say. I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader for this motherfucking shit and see if my business is better. Because it ain't great now. So whatever I'm doing now is maybe not. I was listening to Brian Fullerton. I had to drive all the way to fucking Georgetown today to get these stupid boxes of pedestals. Because my supplier is not sending a truck to that location for like weeks to that manufacturer's location. And the manufacturer keeps the pedestals. And I'm like, how? I fucking hate pedestals. So I was driving back and I was listening to Caleb and then I was listening to Brian Fullerton and he was talking about how he just did a mission statement for his company. And he got all of his team members together and his wife there and they have a big whiteboard on wheels and they're writing ideas down and they're doing the stuff and they're things are going fucking crazy for them and they're building this mission statement and it's a, what do you keep saying? It's a live document, constantly changing live document. And it just sounded great. And then it occurred to me while I was driving, listening to how great this was and how he read the mission statement. It's really good and everything. I can't keep people from vaping in the fucking elevator. I can't have a group meeting on a whiteboard and do all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't. Today, the general contractor was freaking out because people were vaping in the elevator. Like, I can't stop that. You want me to involve these people, like, and you want me to gather everyone together to have a mission statement?
I agree with you. I'm along the same lines there. Like, if we tried to reenact that, our whole health and safety policy would spontaneously catch on fire. If we tried to do anything about a live document fucking brainstorming session with 8 of my guys in the same room. Like, it would not work.
So the argument being that because this clearly happened with Brian's company, right? I'm like, well, do you think, Chad, that the reason that's not happening at your company because you don't have the right people or you don't care about it?
I don't care about it. But I've also said in the past that I align myself with the old school construction guys who also wouldn't care about that shit, right?
True.
And that's maybe the biggest hurdle to a live liberal e-document or whatever it is that he said he's fucking building for himself. Is that not it?
Sure.
I want to buy in, but I just know, like, no matter what you do, people are going to vape in the elevator.
Mhm.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, like, whether you write. He was also saying how he's done he's done like a bunch of shop tours that are on his YouTube channel, different shops. And there's always like a big core values thing and a big mission statement and up on the wall in the shop. Like, do you plan on putting that on the wall in your shop, Chad?
The only thing I think we can, the only idea I think we can align ourselves with at my company that would work for everybody is a sign that says, let's make more money. I think that's the only thing that would motivate us all on the same length to cohesively go out every day and do what we do.
Maybe
That's the only likeness.
Paver King's mission statement is no matter what you do, somebody's gonna vape in the elevator.
Oh. So as Brian was talking about him building this company and doing his mission statement and having these people in, and he's got this live document and it's all coming together and they're all melding as one to build a future for each other. And they're trying to make a more hospitable place for new employees and bring them into the wolf pack. And as he's talking about all this stuff, I'm thinking like, okay, we just put up big cork boards in our CCAN. So when you come in, there's a workbench and there's a bunch of information. And my priority as a business owner was to put up a big sign that says, we've been Tyrannosaurus Rex free for the last 2 million years. And then my secondary priority was to put up the emergency pepperoni.
Break glass for pepperoni.
Like, maybe I'm just not suited for this gig. Maybe my abhorrent hatred of any kind of stuff like that maybe I'm just an old dinosaur and I've been passed by the live document mission statements that are made collectively as a group. Like, if I wrote a mission statement and put it up, everyone that works for us would read it and then vape in the elevator. But they would read it.
Maybe your mission statement's displayed through action. Just have fun and go home alive.
Maybe that's true.
I think what he's doing is admirable, and in an ideal world it would work. It just doesn't work for me. It can't work for me. And maybe I put up that barrier for myself.
Do you think you could go to one of these things that is like all that kind of stuff and do like a complete buy-in? Honestly?
No. Why is he charging for it? Is
No,
that
it's
part of
not.
the
This
ball of
isn't.
wax
No,
or whatever?
no. No. This wasn't a Brian. I wasn't talking about Brian in particular. I was talking about just like people are running these like different courses. And the thing is, if you're going to all these courses, mastermind courses, or all these things, they'll work for you if you can do a complete buy-in. Like, if you can buy into the person leading the course, if you can buy into it could potentially work for you. But I'm saying I'm the type of person, one of the reasons I just know I'm going to be looking at that person and then doing some kind of background check on them and then trying to figure out every single fucking thing about that person. And every time they ever fucked up anything in their life, I'll be like, oh, that guy, he got like a D in grade 6 math. I can't fucking listen to him. Because that's how my brain is. And then I'll be like, I know better, when I really don't. It's not like I'm breeding off something like, hey, I'm doing 50 million in revenue without a mission statement. Like would you write a mission statement, Chad, if you thought it would make more money for your company? If that's what's separating you?
I will do absolutely anything if I thought it would help my company make more money. I'm not opposed
So
to trying new things to make
I,
more money.
I would guess that any company that has any landscaping company that's doing 10 million in revenue, I bet 90% of them have a mission statement on the wall. So if you want to do 10 million in revenue, do you want to risk being the 10% that don't have the mission? I don't know if that's true. I literally made those numbers up before I get 10,000 DMs about this shit. Like, I'm willing to bet that most landscaping companies that are doing more than $5 million in revenue have a mission statement. And there was two things. There was something else, a vision statement and a mission statement or something. Or I bet they have those things. So do you think that, would you start that process now knowing that that's what's going to help you get to 5 million?
I would consider it for sure. By the same token, and going back to this old construction worker mentality, how many guys 20 years ago had a mission statement on their shop wall?
I don't know.
I don't think any.
I know that the whiteboard on wheels was only $200 on Amazon Prime.
You should get it in his store
for $200. I would love, because we don't have maybe we have the C-can, but for $200, I would absolutely fucking love to buy a whiteboard and write mission statement and then say, please add your thoughts on the company mission. I'm going to do that maybe in our C-can. I do have a whiteboard with nothing. Maybe it's a cork board. I don't know, whatever. I'll buy a whiteboard and put it up and say, add your part to our mission statement. And I bet the first thing that gets written down is vaping should be allowed in the elevator. I don't like when will you know whether, so the great thing about this debate is, Chad, you'll never know if you would have gotten to 5 million faster with a mission statement or without, because you'll never make one. But if you made one, and a year from now or 2 years from now, there hadn't been a massive change in your company and profitability and volume of sales, you could say this was a waste of time.
So I need to make one and then disprove it?
Well,
what you're telling me?
You do whatever you want. I'm just saying, like, there's no way to prove. You'll never know if making the mission statement would have helped you if you don't try it.
Okay. I'll figure something out.
Well, I'm not saying you should do it.
Well, what does it hurt? You said 90% of $5 million landscapers have it.
Do you agree with that, Mike?
I don't know, but I was just looking at that top 150 list, and the companies that I went through with that top 150 all had mission statements, and they start at 17.5 million in revenue.
They all had mission statements?
Yeah.
What was one of their mission statements?
I can pull one up.
Pull up one of them.
You can't argue with success.
But did they get successful then make a mission statement, or did the mission statement drive their success?
The way I have thought of a mission statement is, once you get to a point where you are not personally training your employees, it's good to have something that you can point to for decisions to be made in your business, that you can say, okay, you're thinking about making this decision. Look at the mission statement. Does that help the mission statement? If so, then do it. That's how I've always thought about it, at least.
I like that idea.
Because that way, anybody training your employees is not like instilling their own vision into what your business is. You've got a cohesive vision with that mission statement.
Yeah.
You know what I really want to do this year? I think it will elevate us. I want to get flags for the business. I want to put them on shit. Do you ever see those construction guys that just have flags on their equipment and they're blowing around and shit?
I love the idea of flags. I'm super into this idea.
Yeah.
Put like a flag on your skid steer and a flag on your gun. I fucking love this. Normally they're American flags, but I think this is a great idea because there's no fucking way I'd fly a Canadian flag off one of them.
No, but your like big NDL in black on a
Yeah.
flag just blowing around your job site.
So at the Kitty Museum project, there's construction fencing, obviously, and everyone else working there has a big
Their sign.
big sign on it. And I was like, should we get a sign? Put it up. But then I was like, man, we're only here for like 6 weeks. Is it worth getting a sign? But I was like, what if out of those 6 weeks we get some jobs from the sign?
Yeah.
It's probably worth it. Maybe I will get the sign. I love the flags though.
Flags, yeah.
Where do you buy a flag?
I don't know. There's got to be someone. We need a flag sponsor.
Do they make flags in the Not Our Finest Hour store, Mike?
Ooh, that's a good question. Now you got me looking at multiple things at once. My brain is going nuts.
Did you find a mission statement?
Well, no, now I'm looking at flags.
Oh.
You know what? I don't know if I brought this up. Whenever I was in America, obviously driving around a lot in America, going from Cornwall to Florida, a lot of small businesses have American flags on them or use American flags as the backdrop for their business. And I think like if you're a new business starting out in America and you have no fucking credibility, the American flag is something that you can just slap right on there and all of a sudden you're familiar to people. You know, they just love their flag so much. You can't do that in Canada. You can't put a Canadian flag on it and someone will be like, yeah, I want to work with that guy.
Certainly not now.
Not now.
So Trudeau gave a speech yesterday that said, yeah, there's more immigration than our country can handle. You're the one that created that problem. Everyone told you were creating it openly, even your own party. And you were like, no, it's going to be good until it's not. And then you're like, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. There's more immigration in the country. I don't know how that happened. Fuck. That's why people don't put Canadian flags on their fucking business. There are people like bleeding into our country illegally. He's bringing them here legally.
Oh yeah.
We don't. I'm sure we have some I guess undocumented people. I don't want to pull a Biden and call them an illegal alien. Undocumented people. Did you find a mission statement, Mike?
There are flags in the shop that we can actually sell.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Can we make our own flags with like the NDL logo and Paper King and then buy them off ourselves?
Absolutely.
We found a flag supplier ourselves, Chad. We're our own flag supplier, man.
Mike found it for us.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm the designer of this. I asked him to look. So who gets the ownership?
Yeah, but I came up with the idea for flags.
And then, who owns this idea then? Who gets
nobody until they get built.
Until they get built, yeah. I want a flag for our 8-ton now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a flag on it. Yeah. That's sick. I love the idea of a flag. This is the best. This is the best thing that happened to me today.
Should have put it behind our what's that thing called? The key.
The flip side.
Flip side. Yeah, that's flip side.
Flip side. How's that mission statement coming, Mike?
Okay. They're all really long, so I'm trying to find a short one. But
like, how long can they be? Like a page?
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be super short, but here's one. I'll just draw a
slogan.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like they're supposed to be super like short and to the
point. So did
I. Our mission is to create and maintain sustainable outdoor spaces that enrich the lives of our clients, enhance the natural beauty of our community, and conserve the resources of our planets. Or of our planet, sorry. And then it just goes on and on. I think that's specifically the mission statement here.
So I just hear a lot of hot air.
Can you copy that and paste it and put it up in Chad as an experiment? Mike, I think Darian, when you listen to this, don't tell anyone else. That's just gonna happen. Mike, find an absolutely atrocious mission statement, and I will make a photocopy of it and put it up on the corkboard in our shop. And Chad, you put it up in your shop, and then let's just see if anyone reacts to it. Don't bring it up with anyone. Don't say anything to anyone. Just stick up a mission statement, and I want to see if any employees react to it. But we'll put up exactly the same one.
I feel like that's as generic as it gets, the one that I just read.
Maybe AI can write us one.
Yeah, that's true. ChatGPT. Well, let's. We got a little bit of time here, I think. Let's
You
ask
said you had to
AI.
leave. Well, you're the one that said you had to leave, so you're the one
Oh,
that's
it is
fucking,
9:03.
you're
Shoot.
the one that's fucking yourself.
Right, landscape company
That's what's happening.
mission
Directly.
statement. Oh, it even gave us a business name here. Okay, are you guys ready for this one?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just asked, right? A landscape company mission statement. At Green Horizons Landscaping, our mission is to transform outdoor spaces into vibrant, sustainable environments that inspire connection, harmony, and well-being. I think that could be the mission statement as it is, but it goes on and on here for like 3 more sentences.
Huh. That's not half bad.
I'm gonna make
for what it is for hot air.
I'm gonna make our mission statement to ensure that we add our fair share of carbon to the fucking air.
Get every penny worth of our
For pennies worth of carbon tax. That's our fucking mission statement at Fever King.
I like that.
Seriously, I think we should both post one, Chad, and then see if anyone says anything about it. Like, don't have a meeting. Just post it and say, everyone read, and then have a meeting, and then see
if you want us to draw attention to the board?
Well, would your guys go look at the board without it?
No. Not unless I say, hey, your paychecks are on the board. Then they might look at the board.
Well, I'm going to put up a mission statement, and then I'm going to put into our Connect team chat. Everyone, please add to the live mission statement document on below it with your own thoughts, and see if anyone.
Your living document.
Well, like my assumption that people don't want to participate in this, and it not being like Brian's mission statement meeting, those are like, that's my assumption. There's no proof to that. I've never put one up and asked them to participate in it. Maybe your 8 employees are dying to have a mission statement, Chad.
Maybe you should collaborate with your employees to create a mission statement.
They don't even want to respond to the group text. I don't think I'm going to get them to write.
They're too busy trying to vape in the bathroom and no one notices.
The only reason we have no smoking signs in the trucks is so that we don't get a ticket for not having no smoking signs in the trucks. Because they're just going to fucking do what they want to do anyway.
Do you think that your company runs you, or you run your company?
Some days it runs me and some days I run it.
I think that's fair. Do you think it's 50-50?
Give or take, yeah. I'd say pretty close.
I think I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
I might be 60-40 the bad way. But I think on an average month, I'm 50-50 at best. I'm going to put it up and see what happens. This will be a social experiment for everyone but fucking Darian. Mike has to leave. He's really fucking himself. So that's the end of the episode.